Are we going live? Time.
Okay, we're we're live now.
All right.
Are we live?
Wait.
It blinked for
Yeah,
a
we
second.
are live. We are live.
All
We're
right.
live. We're live.
We are live. Welcome to the HandCash coding live stream session. I am joined today with our CEO, Alex Agut. Say hello, Alex.
Hello. How are you doing?
All right. And we have our CTO, Rafa. Rafa, how are you today?
Hey, very excited about being here today.
Yeah, me too. We are here to demonstrate the Connect SDK and building an app from scratch with our audience input. So if you have some input, please put it in the comment section and we will bring it up onto the screen.
So we have, I think it was 5 projects on our website, which is livestream.handcash.io, and which, whichever one of the projects has the most funding at the end of, in the next 4 minutes is the one that we're going to build.
Yeah, I would say we start coding at 1:15.
1:15, great.
And we have 1 hour from there, right? So
Okay.
let's give it like 5-10 minutes to, give a final chance for picking a project and just some chatting, introducing the event.
All right. Well, I have a question. So, once the app is completed, will it be available in the app gallery?
That's a good question. I don't know. depends on how functional it is.
All right.
I hope so. It could be cool. It depends.
Wonderful.
Yeah, if the HandCash review team approves, then fine. But it's not something we can bring forward. So
we're gonna go through all the steps because we have to create an app on the app gallery. I mean, on the dashboard, the developer dashboard, so we can get the API keys and all that, so we can work on that. And so it's basically what any developer would be doing if they were to start developing an app from scratch. And we are going to be sharing our screens and all of that, so don't worry. But we are waiting now for the, to find out which is the winner project.
Great. And how did you come up with this idea to build an app from scratch live with audience input?
It was Rafa's idea.
And Rafa, what are you trying to show in this demonstration?
Yeah, so number one is we are crazy as fuck. And then, and also, I think that the tools for developers are quite mature at this point. And even ourselves are creating small projects for testing different tools and doing different things. So I think this is something we can really do, otherwise we wouldn't be proposing this format. But we want to really show that you have the tools and you have the means to really focus on building a functional product in a really small period of time, right? So obviously we're going to use, even if it's from scratch, we're going to use some technology that we have experience with, we feel comfortable using. But it doesn't. At the end of the day, it's still building a product from scratch.
Yeah.
So we want to show how easy it is to integrate HandCash in a product. That's the main problem.
Maybe the original idea comes from, I wanted to do this when I launched the Pay Pistol, the first version. It was something that I built myself because I really wanted to see if someone with very bad coding skills like myself, if I could use HandCash Connect, everybody could, right?
Yeah.
So Pay Pistol, the first version, I built it myself, and so I thought it was fun, and that maybe we should do it live with people. But it was Rafa's idea just to take it to the next level and see. Let's use AI, and also let's let's wait until the next, the last second to find out what we are going to build. So I know, I wanted to have more preparation, but he said like, fuck it, let's do it. And so I think it will be fun.
That's
I
awesome.
thought if we pick a project or make a tutorial, it's not the same as, I would have wanted to have 200 different projects and the audience picking one project in the last minute. There were some suggestions from the community, but unfortunately, some of them are too crazy for 1 hour, right? Or maybe they didn't stick to the topic, which was using OpenAI and using HandCash.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to hear a little bit more about your thoughts about OpenAI, but I want to lead in with this question. Recently, you demonstrated the ability to use like speech and put speech directly into HandCash code. Can you describe, what is involved with that and where that came up?
Yeah. So that was like some other that project could have fit in this live stream. So 2 ingredients. One, using OpenAI with is basically some AI with some trained models that work very well for very specific tasks. And one of those tasks is translating natural language into some programming code using some library in particular. So just grabbing OpenAI, giving it some instructions in how HandCash Connect works, and then just creating some small interface. And basically the prompt is you input the kind of payment you want to create, and then the AI is giving you the code snippet to trigger that payment.
That's
the
amazing.
only thing is you just need to pay to unlock the content. So this very small paywall, you pay 5 cents, get the content.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So one of the things that we've been discussing recently is, empowering more builders, more developers within our ecosystem to take on bigger and wider projects using HandCash integrations. And we've even been playing with the idea of using a certification, so like a certified HandCash developer. And Alex, can you explain a little bit about maybe the way that would fit in with the long-term HandCash vision?
Sure. We get requested a lot by teams that they have great ideas on things that they want to. Okay, so this is the website for the live stream. So we have a lot of requests from companies that think that HandCash is great and they want to integrate and whatever, but we don't have a team that actually goes to their system and develops it or whatever, or spends time with them. It's something like more like do it yourself, right? And the code is very easy, but some companies just don't have the personnel to actually pull it off, but they could get benefited from this. So we could, from one part, we could spend resources also on building no-code tools, like things that you can just, WordPress plugins, things like that. But on the other side, we think it could be pretty interesting if we, we have a great community of developers available to us. Why don't we use the tools that we already have, like rewarding people with royalties and all of that, to create a very fun program where, they can get outsourced some jobs. And, after accomplish them, they can get a referral for every time that company uses the implementation they built. So I think it could be a great example on how to use this to actually, outsource development, and also on how you can reward people live. And I think that's a very interesting business model too.
Yeah, that's really powerful. So I just want to highlight that we are nearing the quarter past moment.
Yeah.
So originally Rafa had a crazy idea to build an app in 1 hour, but he decided to up himself and now build it in only 45 minutes.
No.
No. No.
Don't push my word, man. No. No, I thought it would be too cold,
Okay, so
need to get to know
it's done. let's refresh the page. And
Okay, so
and
whatever
we all
comes
see the
first
same.
is the final project.
Oh, it's the restaurant review generator.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay,
So
so
this was
let's
the
get
one you were
started.
hoping for, Rafa, right?
It's the easier one.
Yeah, obviously some other were more interesting than others, more challenging. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
No,
So
this is going to be cool.
This
let's
is gonna
build
be
it.
great.
Let's build it.
Okay, let's do it. So first, I think Rafa already is going to be looking at OpenAI. Maybe you want to share the
Yeah,
OpenAI demo.
gonna start
page?
sharing a bit. Gonna share my screen. I'm gonna start sharing a bit the tool.
And
What is the context? What is the
meanwhile, I'm going to look for some inspiration on Dribble.com, to get a nice palette of colors and try to figure out a nice UI for this.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna start giving you some context of which are the tools we have, which is the product we want to build, and then we're gonna be sharing real time the thought process and the product building process, right? So this is OpenAI. This is basically a set of APIs to leverage train models for different tasks that use artificial intelligence. So if you go to beta.openai.com, you can find a set of different samples in how you can use these tools to create something. So this one is basically leveraging this API or using it in this way in particular, right? So we need to give it some what is called the prompt, and then the AI responds completing that prompt. So what we can do is, so here it says, write a restaurant review based on these notes: name of the restaurant, and then some keywords, right? So this is what it gives some flexibility for us to create the user experience, right? So we can make it a bit more fun than just this, right? And maybe now, Alex will start sharing some thoughts, but you guys from home can also give us some ideas in how we can how will it make sense, that product that you just went to some restaurant, you want to write a very nice review, but you can't really be bothered to do all the writing. So just by selecting a few options or entering a couple of keywords, that the AI is actually creating the review for you, right? So this is one of the pieces we're going to use. It already exists. It's just integrating some API and is there. But to be honest, with most of the businesses, they are based on existing tools, right? So it's grabbing an existing tool, finding a use case, and finding some business model that makes sense. So we're covering the product with this. The next thing is, or how it's going to work is, you want to generate a review, you pay 5 cents. And the payment part is what we're going to implement using HandCash Pay. I think HandCash Connect could make some sense, but we want to focus in this episode in particular on HandCash Pay because it's something that is more recent. Maybe people and the community in general is not so educated about how it works and what is the purpose. So we're going to use HandCash Pay in particular, which it's on the website. You go to docs.handcash.io, you find exactly the pieces of code that we are going to use. We're going to just copy and paste. And even more, we're not starting from scratch. We are grabbing some repository that already exists to create projects using HandCash Pay with Vercel, right? So I already have this template that is the same template that any developer should use. I already have my project created. So if you go to, I'm gonna share this link now, but you can follow real time the progress at this URL. It's HandCash livestream app1.vercel.app. You can follow the process. We're gonna be pushing real time. You can follow, everything as we go. So that being said, we're gonna follow the skeleton of the project. This is based on the HandCash Pay Vercel, HandCash Pay Next.js example. We have some APIs that we can already grab. So this is some API to create a payment request. There's some other API for getting the recent payments, which I don't think we're going to use, but anyway, it comes with the skeleton. There's some other endpoint that is the webhook notification, and this is really important, and it's very similar for every project. So it's basically whenever the user is completing a payment, they're going to call our server with some specific endpoint that we have to define, right? So this is really important because this is when we unlock content. If there's some kind of paywall, HandCash will notify us about the payment being completed, and is when we can unlock the content. So this is very important piece. And then the rest is just the UI, which we're going to basically start from scratch because there's nothing we can really use from here.
Rafa,
right? But
are you able to zoom in just a little bit on that specific section?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna increase the.
Just for our audience.
Yeah, I wanted to do that before. Finally forgot.
I'm not waiting for you.
No.
Have a lot of work to do. Okay, I will explain things later.
Okay. Does it look any better now?
Yeah, it looks a little better. How's that for our audience? Are we able to see a little clearer?
Thumbs up.
All right. Looks like it's okay. Thank you, Rafa. Zoom a little more, please. That is our Augusto and Jay are asking if you can increase it a little bit more. That'd be great.
I'm gonna go to 16. It's gonna decrease my productivity if it goes to big.
All right. We have a comment from the audience. They said use Command plus, Rafa.
Nope, that's not one that I have enabled. This is not this Visual Studio Code sheet. This is some
He's a Visual Studio Code hater. I use VS Code, so fuck it.
Oh, one other thing, Rafa, can you just put that link again up just so that people can follow it? I wanted to make sure everyone got that. It's HandCash livestream. Is that it? One?
Yeah, let me.
HandCash livestream. Dash.
I'm gonna share it with you, Brett, and you.
Great.
You give it to the audience.
Thank you.
He's a hater.
All right, I will post this so that everyone has access to it. Thank you, Rafa.
No problem. So get you the GitHub repository.
All right.
Okay, so Alex, any thoughts for the product, the user experience you have in mind?
Let's do something. So while you were doing this, because this is something that we have, normally we do this, right? But we always get to what we call an MVP, and it's normally called in the industry, which is like, what is the the bare bones thing that the product has to do is like one thing that the product has to do, and let's do it great and focus on that instead of adding a lot of features. So what we want to do is adding some input boxes, and also there's going to be a main button that's going to be pressed by the user, and that's going to be generating or asking the server to generate the review with AI and all of that, right? So meanwhile, what I was doing was to get inspired a little bit with a design. Let me share my screen now. Present, share screen, window, this one. Can you see my screen now? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I went to Dribbble and I was looking for restaurants, and I found this one. I think this palette is very nice. I just wanted a palette of colors that just looks nice out of the gate. So I created, it's called a frame. So this is a frame for an iPhone. I like to start always phone, mobile first, because then you expand things to desktop. It's easier than just from desktop trying to constrain everything into a mobile view. And also it allows for nicer spacing. So we know that we are going to have some fields of things that the user has to input, right? And we know that there's going to be like a title and a call to action. And so, yeah, maybe we need here something like this. Can move it here, and maybe we can ask the user like, so input give us your thoughts in a few clicks, and we will write a review for you. Something like that. I don't know, just explaining something. But we need to figure out right now, Rafa, what are the fields that you think we can ask the user, because every field would be different. The input would be different. So I think maybe we need a selector for, if it's a noisy place, right? Or
so maybe
noisy or loud scale.
I think something we need 100% is the restaurant name.
Restaurant name. Okay, this is just a text field. It's cool.
And then what I think would be maybe ideal is, if you're really actually lazy about creating restaurant reviews, you don't want to type anything.
Okay.
Right. So if it was more selection based, right? So how was the noise?
Yeah.
How was the food? How was the people, or so a couple of tabs, and that's it.
How was the service?
Yeah.
And then
did you like the food?
Instead of being just no, maybe there's like different levels.
Scales. Yeah. We'll add some scales. Cool. I think we can do it with. Do you think we need, in order to be better with, you think we need more inputs? Service, place.
Considering the time, we can start with something that makes enough sense.
Yeah, and then we can add something.
Also, I have no idea how the AI is going to respond.
Yeah, we have no idea how it's going to. We could also add if is it a good location, or is it easy to park, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll try to have some open questions, or
maybe the audience can suggest something.
The audience suggested maybe a form with a room for a comment review at the end.
But do you think that fits what we're doing here?
Yeah, that's the question. But that was, I'm not sure, but that was what was suggested.
Yeah, I understand. What we want is to create something for lazy people, so they can leave reviews without having to bother about writing anything. Just like 3 tabs and they're out.
Yep. Yeah, great.
Okay, so restaurant name, was the place noisy? So okay, we need a selector here. So right now I'm just designing. So I think maybe it's more interesting what Rafa might be doing right now. I'm going to finish the design here in not something super detailed, but something functional over here. And then I'm going to start implementing the design on the GitHub project we have over here. It's already prepared.
I'm not building anything at the moment because I still need to know the project. Some basic.
We had a.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We had a suggestion for maybe instead of the location, you could use a Google map to pin the location or something.
Yeah, but that wouldn't say if you actually found the location was good or hard to access. So I mean,
got it.
Eventually, I think eventually the product could go there, but back to the basic. Less than 1 hour.
I think we have to understand that we have 1 hour to build this. What we want is to make sure that in 1 hour you can tap a few things, make a HandCash payment, and that triggers the AI to actually write a review for you.
Got it.
And I think with that we can consider it an MVP, a complete product. And if we have enough time left, we can add things like Google Pay API integration, things like that. But
yeah, even before the MVP, there's something very interesting. So the first, from my perspective, I want to get rid of all the uncertainty. So I want to create something that is called architectural spike, which is connecting all the pieces we're going to use in the system. So connecting the front end with the server, with OpenAI, with HandCash Pay, and with some persistence to store the information in a database. So we want to start putting all of this together, and then from there we can, we already have some basis, some system, and we can keep extending that. One thing would be nice to define now is this going to be a single page application, or when we can make it, we can actually make it very, very simple. Maybe
what do you suggest?
Maybe it's too simple. So when you click on get review for what you were sharing, you click on get review, you get redirected to HandCash Pay.
Okay. And after you make the payment, it redirects you to another page that only shows you the result. We need two views. Then we need the input menu, and then we need the redirect page where we can just show the review already. Okay, cool.
So yeah, that way we don't have to create the paywall in the website, which eventually we can get there, but that will reduce a lot the uncertainty. Okay, I'm gonna start sharing my screen.
Great.
For now, I'm gonna start doing some coding.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to start with some hello page. This is, I'm gonna start also running the server.
And are you sharing your screen yet, Rafa?
Supposedly. Oh no, okay. Have to select something.
Perfect.
Okay, guys. Okay, so yeah, starting with this very simple endpoint, very dummy. So I want to have something that helps me trigger calls to OpenAI. So I'm gonna do it through this endpoint. Okay, so that works. Done. To production.
We had a question from the audience that was on a little bit off topic, but does HandCash support test money, like test not on blockchains?
Not yet.
Not
yet. But after having support for USDC, it's going to be very easy to get there with Tokenize.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Well, that sounds like something we'll be able to support.
Rafa, do you think maybe the rating system should be at least for how good was the service and did you like the food? For those two, we could use the 5-star review. I think it's something very common component.
Yeah, so there's two ways. So we have to translate that into something we can prompt for the AI. So I would say either we internally translate what 1-star means for every aspect, or we provide some like tips that say it was very good, it was crap, or kind of contextual for that kind of.
That could be easier. I think that's good for was the place noisy? I don't know if that's the right question for it. Maybe like what I want to tap is there were kids screaming, there was loud music. It was very relaxing. I think it's more qualitative, but the service, I think it's the service and the food, maybe it's something like, even though I think we can rate that like 1 star is very bad and 5 stars is excellent, and then the AI can figure it out. And maybe by the context, it just randomly generates something interesting.
I think maybe things like how was the atmosphere, and then you have different options and you can select many.
Right? Yeah, that's a good.
It could be it was noisy, it was cool, it was easy to talk, it was.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It's just.
Yeah. Okay, material design icons for community. Okay, is Rafa sharing the screen? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, and I guess I wanted to ask you, Alex. We have a little moment here. What's your overall philosophy to UX UI?
I think every product needs to do at least one thing great, and once you have that nailed down, you can start adding other features, but only if it's necessary. I think many companies but I think it's like I think it's an issue that everyone that's a creator has to go through many times. That it's, if you're a creator, you want to keep creating things, right? So maybe you just create the best product in the world and it has just like 2 lines and a button. And as a creator, you're always thinking like, how can I add more functionality or more? And maybe maybe it just should stay that way. The thing is that it feels like you, as a creator, you have to justify that you're necessary, so you have to keep adding stuff. I think a great example of this is Twitter. I use Twitter a lot, but there are like 2 or 3 tabs and sections and features and stuff that I've never used, and they're populating the bar here is like communities. I don't know. I've never used that. I don't know. I basically use the DMs, notifications, search, and home. All the rest is just, I don't know. I never used it.
Yeah.
But they have to keep adding crap, and it makes product clunky and slow. And especially if you have a small team, you have to focus on the things that you can do.
Yeah.
With your resources. I think it's much better if you do one thing great than if you just have 5 or 6 different things. And that's the same philosophy that Rafa has. And I think that's why we have been able to create so many products over these years.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we, Rafa? We should
Gonna
start.
gonna get some API secrets. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment.
The secrets. So okay, I'm gonna start preparing the the UI on here. I only need to define right now is your.
We have some love in the audience for Figma. So
Figma
is
is
that
great.
your go-to for UX UI?
Yeah. I think Figma is great. There are some people that say that it's just a glorified PowerPoint. I really like it. I think, yeah, I think we can do something like this here. Let me share my screen now if Rafa is not, or Rafa is doing interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Working on the.
I don't want people to get bored.
And having some prompts.
I guess I have a quick question. So you and Rafa, Alex, you obviously work really well together. But what's the difference between working together side by side, maybe like in the same office, or working remotely? Do you have any thoughts about that?
I think we have a huge difference on that, or at least we had it, because he doesn't have any issue working from home. I think, in fact, he prefers it, but I can't stand it. I can't stand it. But it is what it is, and the reality, he's right on one thing, is that if you have good people that really like what they're doing, you don't need to actually be breathing on their necks, right, every morning just to be productive. There are some people that are very productive working remotely, and there's some people there that they're not. So I think it's more about the company culture, and if they care about what they're doing, what they do.
Yeah.
But it's very different. The thing is that the best ideas, and Rafa still has to recognize that the best ideas always come in person.
Yeah, I really agree with. I mean, I'm not saying working remotely and having the team fully remote it's ideal. There's some benefits you lose from being in person, and to me, ideally, this is something I talked with Ivan from our team. Some balance of four days working remotely with 1 day of being in person at least, or something in those terms, where you still feel the warmth from the team. You have this conversation in a break coffee, and you can really get to discuss things. But the rest, I feel you lose a lot of time just commuting to the office, and there's a lot of things that I think is really hard to give up. But
I think you also miss a little bit on, especially with young people, with discipline. I used to say, like, months ago or a year ago, so that we were a bunch of talented kids, but it doesn't necessarily translate on having great discipline for work, or having systems in place or whatever. But we've been making a lot of progress in that. So more like so can I show my screen right now?
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Do I have to stop it, or?
Share my review. So share my review. Maybe I can use this other one just to. So yeah, let me show my screen very quickly.
I'm on a critical part that I really want to share.
Okay.
Okay. A couple of minutes more. Okay, this is the most important part of the integration, because this is when we unlock the content, and you don't want to have any security breach when unlocking the content, because obviously the value you're providing doesn't make any sense. So this is the endpoint. So under our server in /API/ on payment completed, this is where HandCash is going to call our server when a payment is completed, right? So the first thing we have to do is there's something, I will go to the HandCash dashboard, but there's a couple of things you have to copy down. One is your application ID, and the other one is your application secret. So your application secret is secret, and HandCash includes that secret when it's using the webhook. So the first thing you have to do is you get the data from the body, and there's one field in particular, it's application secret. So you need to make sure this is true. So your application secret is matching with that. So no one apart from HandCash is accessing to that part. Then the next thing we have to do is we need to link the payment information with the content that we're supposed to unlock, right? So before the payment, we need to create some reference that after the payment can be connected to. So what we're going to do is, at some point, the user is creating what we call the payment request, and that payment request already contains some parameters that are the inputs to create the restaurant review. So when the payment is completed, we retrieve that payment request that was created before. We grab the parameters for the OpenAI. We called this get the restaurant review function that is calling the OpenAI. We get the review back, and at that point, we have the content unlocked. So this is pretty much the experience we want to create and how all the pieces get connected.
And Rafa,
yeah,
that same process can be used for lots of different features and functions, right? It doesn't have to, involve the AI. We're just using AI as a part of it, but
right.
It could call different types of information as long as we reference that information prior to the payment. Correct.
It's like if there was no payment, the experience would be, everything would be more direct. But it's like we are posting it, to make the payment, and then we want to keep on that process, right? So we just need to store everything to continue after the payment. But that applies, as you said, to everything.
Yeah, so you could use that to paywall content, all types of things.
Yeah, it's the same approach, which is why we kind of feel confident about creating any paywall-based product in a short period of time.
And then I have one more question on that topic. So what makes this really innovative is that it uses, unless I'm wrong, it uses HTTP requests. Is that correct?
Yeah, it makes it more like industry standard.
Sure.
And it means it's flexible for everyone, any programming language, any framework, and even any platform, right? So PlayStation could use this to make you purchase content, for example.
Yeah. And what's interesting about that is that the content, like for example, it can be triggered by just simply clicking a link, right? So you could, put a link to a news article or something like that, and by the user clicking it, it unlocks it triggers the payment, right?
Yeah. Okay, so there are two ways. If Alex allows me to go back to sharing and explaining part of the process, or
Sure. I'm not. Am I sharing anything?
No,
not at the moment.
Yes.
Okay.
Going back. Okay, maybe now it's a good moment to get a bit into the HandCash Pay API and all of that. I'm using a project template already. You guys can check it out from GitHub. But if you go to the docs, this is the the pieces you will need to grab. So first, you need to create what we say, create a payment request. So the payment request defines things like information about the product to give some context to your customer, who is going to receive the money and how much. Then you can request for some user information. That includes, you can get the payment, you can get the user email, and you can get the phone number. So you need to process some checkout, or there's something that requires more personal communication. Upon completing the payment, you will receive that information. So you can send your custom confirmation email for e-commerce. You can ask for more details. It's very up to you to create the experience, but this is something very frequent. Then this is more kind of techie, but it's about the integration. So if we want HandCash to notify our server when a new payment is completed, this is the field that you use to define that. What is very cool and also very flexible, and we're going to use it. Remember when I said you need to connect your information with the payment? So this is what actually allows you to connect it very conveniently. So we're going to create some, let's say, parameters, very basic, to create the review. Sure. All of those things Alex was commenting about. How was the location? How was the atmosphere? All of that information, we need to store it and send it to the OpenAI when the payment is completed, right? So we need at some point to connect the user input with the payment. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to use this field to add some reference to that user input. So when we get the payment confirmation, we grab this, we search in our database and get the content back. So this is what allows you to have that flexibility.
Great.
And also this is where we can receive some email. So every time someone this is optional, right? In some cases, maybe you don't really need to unlock content. Mm-hmm. But this is basically one way of getting notified. And you can trigger your custom business process with this. If you don't really need that, you can just receive an email and you can trigger the manual process from there, right? So if you don't have some system that can, let's say, start the shipping the product or whatever, you can just receive an email and start the shipping process by yourself, for example. And this is for the user experience, and it defines where the user will be redirected when the payment is completed. So these are the ingredients that we can use. Then when we create this payment request, this is what we get back. This is the most important, where is basically what we created with some other things very interesting. So we have two ways of redirecting the user to the payment. You can use this QR code to create your own checkout experience, so the user doesn't have to leave your app or your website. Or you can just, which is what we're going to start doing, redirect the user to this link, which is a reference to your payment in particular, using some predefined HandCash checkout, right? So you don't have to build it from scratch again. And then again, it's up to you to decide what makes more sense for your user experience or for your resources. So these are the two methods, basically.
Thank you.
Then one last thing, and then I'm back to coding again. Do I have the HandCash dashboard anywhere? Okay. So you need some API keys, right, to use this as a developer. You can go to dashboard.handcash.io. You need to create a team, and you need to create an app. So I'm going to create the app now. And then there's two pieces of information here, interesting for us: the app ID and the app secret. gonna copy down and paste them in the environment now. But this is all you need. This is really all you need. And with that, you're ready to go. This is something you don't really care about all of this. This is for HandCash Connect, but we are using HandCash Pay. So again, this is all you need.
And can anyone, like any developer that's out there watching right now, can they just go to dashboard.handcash.io right now and just start building their app?
Correct.
Or do they need? Yeah, they don't need. Do they link their HandCash account? Is that how they keep their profile?
No, it's completely detached from HandCash. So you can log in actually with your GitHub account, with your Google account, or just with email and password.
Great.
So yeah, I think things very easy.
Once they submit an app, then they just put it for review, correct? If they want to put it on the gallery or something.
Yeah, so there's some process in the dashboard that you can use to send the app to review.
Great.
So far, I think we only use the gallery for HandCash Connect based apps, but of course, anything based on HandCash Pay that makes sense and wants to be promoted can be in the gallery.
Sure. And then really quickly, I'll just plug Asset Layer. Asset Layer is nifty jigs. They also provide some tools, including no-code tools, for any developers out there looking to do some digital asset management tools. So check them out as well, because we have a good relationship with them.
Also, their new API is looking fire, like Jay would say. It's fakes. Something they say in Miami.
So the point just being, there's tons of tools out there for you to get your project up and off the ground, and like Rafa's doing now, be complete with an app within an hour.
Well, yeah. Let's see if it's in an hour. I'm not coding shit. I'm just talking all the time.
There's not a magic coding fairy that comes in and
I already have the 2 pages.
All right, maybe do you want to do a little sharing then, Alex?
Okay, let me share quick, and let's see if Rafa agrees with this. But I think it's pretty cool for the time we have. Screen window, this one. So this is what I got. So we have 2 screens. One is for the input. So this would be the homepage, and I have to add, it's something that I added here on, but it's going to be there's a 10-cent payment to actually create the review, which is going to be paid. No, I mean it's the main reason why we're doing this. So this is the homepage that's going to have the input and just create the review. You tap, you get redirected to HandCash Pay, you pay, and you get redirected here to the review. And in the review is like, I think we can have this robot face, like, beep up, here's your review, I had my job. So, the review here with the stars, and this restaurant sucks, really, was noisy, the service was slow, and the crap will never come back. Review written by Restabot, and then something like share my review.
Yeah, perfect.
So I'm already halfway there with the building at least the basic UI and the theme and all of that.
Sure.
And then it's just a matter of plugging what Rafa is going to be building, because at some point he's going to start coding, and then we are going to put everything together and figure out the logic and stuff. And I'm going to have to start looking for complements, for components for the reviews.
Great.
Oh, let me share something.
Sure.
Share screen. Window.
I'm gonna split the 10 cents.
So
I'm gonna split the 10 cents between the 3 of us. So every time someone is paying, it just draws automatically.
Okay, so we only have 15 minutes left. There's no fucking way we finish this in 15 minutes. But if you stay a little bit longer, you might even see it being finished. So this is one of the things that we found out most recently. There's a great collection of web templates. I mean, for web components here, tailwindui.com, and we have the premium account, so you can go to components, and there's a lot of components that you can just copy and paste, and it's very beautiful UI, and it uses the same system everywhere, so you can be very. So we are going to figure out if there's some. We can make reviews somehow. There's a review selector. No way, Jose. So okay, review. Stars. This is for React. Let's see if we can find something. Okay, this is exactly what we want. Boom. Coming here. Oh, you cannot see it because I'm not sharing the full screen. But anyway, I'm going to start working on putting together this component and all that.
Great.
You can keep firing questions from the listeners.
Okay. Let's see. We have some comments that people are really enjoying this and thanking you for showing the process. What goes, how the gerbil spins the wheel, you know?
Cool.
I guess I had a question for Rafa. Recently, you were talking about a new tool that you kind of discovered that takes the place of some of the functionality, but I can't remember which one that it replaced. But do you have I guess, was it Heroku that you were talking about, that maybe you found something that was better than that or something like that?
Yeah, I really like it. I don't remember the name now. Okay, let me take it on my. Yeah, it's called Appstash. No, that's another one. Scalingo.
Scalingo. That was it. Yeah, Scalingo. So what is Scalingo, and how would a developer benefit from it?
It's just a very easy to use infrastructure to deploy projects.
Okay.
Right. So you need to deploy your code to production or even to some internal environment for testing.
Yeah.
It just basically needs that you connect your GitHub repository, and then the rest is done. So it's very cool.
Scalingo.com. Yeah, I posted it in the chat for people.
Alex?
Tricks of the trade.
When you feel that you have some changes that make sense, you can already push it to the project, and they will be deployed. And people can.
Should I push it to master?
Yeah, there's no. Okay. Not gonna start doing full. Yeah.
Just in case there's some collisions. Okay. Oh, they changed the UI for Google Fonts, and I don't know how to use this shit now.
Okay, another thing I'm using. I'm not sure if people could find it from the code, but for persisting the information, we need some kind of database. We can do it in memory for the demo purpose, but even though it's very unstable. So we're going to use Firestore from Firebase. So just again, something very well known, and a couple of points. I will be showing the code, but that's another of the pieces we are using. So as you can see, we're just integrating different things. It's not, building 100 million things from scratch.
Yeah.
It's really going to the point. Yeah.
Yeah. Shows how fast you can get it off the ground. We did have a question from Dig Again NFT Metaverse. Is it possible to create a Figma plugin that exports code for HandCash?
I don't know. The thing with HandCash is more a backend thing, right? And Figma, I feel it's really about the
front end,
how it looks, right? And it's about the front end, and so unless there's some HandCash based components, something like HandCash Connect or HandCash Pay, I think it's a bit out of scope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that brings up what we were talking about earlier in the show, which is that we're looking to empower developers, including providing like a certification for certified HandCash developers who could be tackling some of these projects, like plugins for popular shopping apps and things like that. And I think it's an area that is really ripe to explore.
Okay.
Shopify, correct? Yeah, exactly. It'd be a perfect thing to plug into these checkout solutions, all-in-one checkout solutions. And if you want to take on that task, we'd be more than happy to talk to you about that.
Okay, I need to see somehow the UI to figure out what is the information we need.
Yeah. Sure. Wait. Shit. Okay, so let me share the screen again. Okay, so I'm gonna use a component for 5 stars here, 5 stars here, and how the atmosphere. It could be this would be a segmented selector. Let's use only 3 for now, and the restaurant name is just an input. The rest is just UI.
So restaurant name, some label for the atmosphere. Restaurant name. Atmosphere label, let's call it. Service label. No, service label, not label. Food quality, better. Okay, so we've got that. We can.
I can remember how we imported this thing correctly. Anyway, we don't need that now. We'll do it later. Okay, let me.
I hate my job. Okay.
So the return should be like 5 stars and or 4 or 5 stars or whatever. Can we get that? I'm wondering.
Right now.
It would be too complicated, but maybe we could just fake it
or remove it.
But I think if it's a review, has to have stars. We can just figure it out afterwards. But as long as you can return this phrase, it's good enough. I can figure out the rest. If we are faking this, I can just export it as a PNG and fuck it. Okay, export it.
Just a reminder that if you want to tip Rafa and Alex, their handles are right to the left of the screen. Send them some money for putting up with all of this, building an app in an hour. Make it rain.
Make it rain. So shit, I'm gonna see if I can export this thing. I don't know if it's going to be. No, it's not exporting the way I want. I want to see how much I can not do.
Okay. Can I share my screen now?
Yeah, sure. Let me turn it on.
Okay. Because when you do these kind of things under pressure, is really good moment to actually figure out new stuff. So, normally the way we've been doing this so far is you get the user input, you store it, you create the payment request, and then you focus on the payment. Again, the user gets redirected back, and you get the webhook, or those things. But we don't really have a lot of information here to store, right? So, as we said, we can we can use HandCash Pay to add some custom parameters.
Oh shit.
We can just pass all the information, right to HandCash, and it's going to be included in the custom parameter. So when we get the payment confirmation, we can get back the user input and call the OpenAI to generate the review. Right. So we could even, I think at that point, it's fine to store some information about the review for persistence reasons, but we don't even need to do that in the first place. So that's very cool, because if someone is creating let's say, review intents, like he's trying to create the review, but eventually it's not paying, we're not storing information about something we don't really want, and then we have to clean it up. And so we only store information when we have payment confirmations. And I think that's very cool.
There's something I need your help. Let me push now the changes. First push.
Who's gonna help me?
Yeah, the issue is that I'm running this, but it defaults to settings. So if you could just get rid of settings in a way that doesn't break the app, would be nice. And it just goes to home.
Oh, okay.
So I'm renaming in a file, pushing. This is the review. So it's not gonna take 1 hour. We overestimated our
too much talking,
yeah.
But what was the point? We can't really get to say anything.
Yeah, that's true. True. Okay. Trying to figure it out. Layout.
Oh man. Is there anything from the push you made that is worth keeping? Because now I have a conflict already.
Oh shit. Well,
okay,
yeah, but what's the conflict? I told you about the not having conflicts.
Okay.
You said, no, just push to master.
Yeah, but didn't see that one coming.
Shit. No,
okay,
I mean, you can get rid of
every comment is going
to everything.
Every commit is going to have the comment of initial commit. We don't have time to. Okay, I think I fixed it already.
Okay. I basically have the theming on 2 screens, and I just have to apply all of this. Okay. This was the property I was looking for.
So create the payment request, and
from light to dark background. Okay, restaurant reviews. Okay, we can keep the footer. Or we can just get rid of it. I don't know. We can keep the footer.
Rafa, do you play Pokemon Scarlet Violet? No.
I do.
You do?
Oh yeah.
I only code.
We had a question that was a question in the chat.
No, not
Okay,
playing.
don't make me spoilers. I haven't been playing much, so
No
don't spoil
spoilers,
the game.
please.
No spoilers, please. Although I gotta say that the new Pokemon, the designs are great. Those Pokemon designers are really great. Some funny designs. There's a couple of mice that's called Tandem Mouse, something like that, and they go hand in hand and they breathe. I don't know. It's so cool. It's so cool.
A lot of people may not know, but Rafa was infamous for a little while for like hacking like a Pokemon Go database, right? And I think
fun.
originally he put out an app that like sourced information from like a public database that told people where the most rarest Pokemon were. So everyone, like, it became an instant hit, and everyone was downloading his app. But then somehow the information that he was pulling it from was sort of like behind a, it wasn't necessarily supposed to be public, and so they
No, it wasn't.
they came after him. So
Yeah.
he earned instant infamy, but he he's like Robin Hood. He stole from the rich to give to the poor. He he became a hero of the people for his valiant efforts.
Good. To be fair, I was just again grabbing some existing APIs, so.
But those APIs that were not legal.
Sure, I mean, but this is just grabbing APIs. All the products are the same principles. Just like we are doing now, but so far this seems to be legal.
Hey, I'm not sure also if it would make sense for us to be sharing a screen for the audience. If we're at a critical part, just let me know and we'll switch over.
There's that PNG, so I can add. What's the side of this?
How old were you, Rafa, when you built that app?
The Pokemon one?
The Pokemon one, yeah.
I think I was 24.
20, yeah, 24.
No, 20, 22?
22.
Whenever it was Pokemon Go. I don't remember when that was.
2016 or so, I think. I think it was summer 2016. It was before HandCash, so it was 2015 or 2016.
22, yeah. Yeah.
So just basically like a baby.
Yeah, but that kind of getting involved and trying to create as many products as possible is what really gives you the experience and the perspective, in my opinion. So it's not just working on the same project for 20 years. You need to get involved into different problems, and then you get to see what all of them have in common. And I think it's really more important many projects than many years of working on something to have experience.
And did you know Alex at that point, or was that before you knew him?
Yeah, we worked together.
You worked together.
We kind of built that thing together. I was working on PR and the UI and stuff, and so HandCash was like taking that fun experience. We built that in 4 or 5 days. We took that experience and we thought like, hey, if we build this, we can build anything.
Yeah.
It was, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Shit. Okay, I really need what you're doing to be fixed.
You really need what?
I really need you to fix a little. Well, anyway, no worry. I can figure it out. So the layout is here. For whatever reason, not line. Oh, did you? Is this, did it have dark mode hard coded or something?
No, it's just one mode, I think.
It's overriding.
We don't
what I'm
put a
trying
dark
to do.
mode, Jay. We'll
Just
not be happy.
go to style, go to styles globals. Yeah, in styles globals, you have background black and color white.
Oh,
So
okay. So
I'm gonna-
that was overriding what I was trying to do. Yeah.
I'm gonna share this part a bit. Is when I process the webhook.
Rafa, what do you like to use if you don't like VS Code?
IntelliJ.
Sorry, say it again.
IntelliJ is this thing I'm using now.
Gotcha.
IntelliJ.
Yeah, VS Code is like block notes with extensions.
Like PowerPoint too, right?
To me. Now, yeah, a couple of years ago, I was still using it. But actually, Ivan got me into IntelliJ, so blame it on him.
Shout out to Ivan. He's a great guy.
Okay, so this is the payment webhook. So again, this is where HandCash will notify your service when the payment is completed. We will receive back the custom parameters that we set when creating the payment request and the user information, right? So going back to this, that was part of the skeleton, checking the app secret is right, getting back the restaurant review data. It comes from the custom parameters from the HandCash webhook. And we call OpenAI with these parameters to get the review. Some other custom stuff, we get the pay mail and we get only the user handle, the username, to store it for UI purposes. And finally, eventually, after everything is when we store this restaurant review repository. I mean, the restaurant review in the repository, which is using Firebase. So we're gonna store it, and at some point we want to find it by, where actually it's going to be by transaction ID. This is something. Yeah, we'll
so I just pushed something. So
okay. So from the information we stored that is relevant for us, I'm gonna store payment request ID for traceability, just to track what's going on. Transaction ID is the most important one. Payment status, confirm add. This is just some contextual information. Obviously, the restaurant review and the user, right? So what's going to happen? On one side, the server is going to receive the payment webhook, storing all of this information. But this is from the server side, right? But the user is going to be redirected from HandCash Pay to our, let's say, to our website. And we need to connect both, because the user at this point doesn't know anything about the review, but he wants to get the review. So when HandCash redirects the user to the redirect URL, so we create the payment request here. Oh, we have to add the redirect URL. Okay, so this is the URL. We still have to define it. But when HandCash redirects the user back, it's going to add the transaction ID here, right? So we're going to grab the transaction ID, go to the repository, and then we can recover the restaurant review and represent it in the UI, right? So these are all the pieces being connected.
Excellent. And we had some comments in the chat bringing up Jobby the app.
that was cool.
That was the original concept that led to the creation of HandCash, for anyone that doesn't know.
Kind of, but
okay.
Yeah, it was sharing economy app we had in 2015, but it was our first company together, and it was pretty successful until it wasn't. We had a lot of traction, but our ability to monetize was really hampered because if we wanted to use escrows and other payment systems and all of that, it was the fees were incredibly high, and all of our payments were like from $5 to $20, and from person to person. So it was very hard for us to make any money on that, and we wanted to try different strategies, but eventually we ran out of money and died. So it is what it is.
Yeah, but there are a lot of valuable lessons in there, I'm sure.
Oh, we learned a lot. So I'm trying to use this thing. Brand red. I'm using I think for whatever reason this is not updating. I'm using brand red.
Alex, do you have a page already for the review created? Like, what is the name of? Okay, is it going to be called? Is it going to be under /review, for example, or?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, if you pull, I already pushed it. So I'm working on it. Let me make another push. UI push. It's much better if I just do small pushes, even if it's just for. So rest. Okay. Text white. I don't think I'm gonna create components for this. Too small. Too small of a project. px6 py4 rounded full.
What's going on?
Sorry, people at home, if we're taking more than we expected, but it's fine. It's fun. You can leave, you can stay, you can watch this afterwards. We really would appreciate if you stay around for a few more minutes.
Great.
I'm gonna get rid of the footer. Fuck the footer. This is already using it's not using the color that I tried to use. So tailwind config. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna open another project where we have all these things already done. Not this actual project, but just to see, just to copy and paste some configuration of things.
I'm curious, Brett. You can collect how many people from the audience are understanding what's going on, or have some kind of development.
Yeah, the audience is loving it. But if the audience has any questions, feel free to fire them, and I will pose them.
Import. This is what I want to import. Okay.
One of the things I think is so cool is that you can actually translate natural language directly to the HandCash Pay code. I think that's awesome because it's not far from a future where you just open up a natural language page and say, I want an app that, and you just describe what it does, and it'll eventually formulate, 90% of the code that you need to do that. Will this project be shared on GitHub for additional learning?
Yeah, it's already there. So
Urmar Des says, porfa me lo dices en español y entiendo.
What?
next time we need to get to HandCash live stream en español.
Por los loles.
Por los Por los loles.
Yeah, the funny story with that is, while I was working at Fabric, I was working with the HandCash team to help design and develop the top-up system, and we were right about to launch it. It was very exciting for me, and I asked them, what do you say, in Spain when you're christening a new ship, and you break the champagne bottle over it, and they said por los loles. And I said,
it's something more like something that Jaime says. It's not exactly something. No, but it's kind of popular on the internet to say that. So
yeah. For the lulz.
For the lulz. Okay. I think you got it.
Was copy more.
I want this to look nice, so spending a little bit more time on that.
Was adding more API secrets and stuff.
Secrets.
So
had a lot of secrets.
There's another tool I recommend for testing webhooks, because if you are on localhost, it's not a public IP that HandCash can reach, but you can use ngrok. It's another tool that it just creates some kind of tunnel for just forwarding from the external services to your local machine, and it's very cool for testing. So I don't have to deploy every time I want to test something. I know I can test it from my machine.
Oh, cool. I already have the theme going. Good.
Oops.
Urmar asked, what do you think about this on-chain proof of funds, proof of reserves? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think okay.
No, I will let Rafa.
Short answer, I think it's another distraction from the crypto circus, even though the idea is pretty neat. But for who this is coming from and all of this is just another distraction, guys. So
yeah, good question. When will there be an on-chain BitHub?
GitHub.
A BitHub.
I think there was one. I don't know if anyone uses it, but that is the thing with on-chain stuff. Is like people don't. I understand that there might be some value, but you have to sell it very well. That that's powerful enough from migrating from something as powerful as GitHub. If it's not as good as GitHub for my business, I don't care if it's on-chain.
Yeah. I think that gets back to your overall design philosophy, Alex, which you mentioned, just do something really, really good. Just, you don't need a lot of bells and whistles, and sometimes putting it on chain might fall into that category.
It's all that matters right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
Okay.
Size.
So we got something here too. So I already have the webhooks coming from HandCash, and part of the information, obviously in addition to the transaction ID and all of this, is that we get back the input for OpenAI. So I'm gonna move to the next step. There's something funny now.
Show people about OpenAI. That will distract them a little bit.
Okay, so this is this is the input of OpenAI, right? This is just some hard-coded prompt. So we need to translate these qualities or this property into a sentence that the OpenAI can really understand, right? So we're going to, oh, by the way, I just remember I'm not using TypeScript. Someone's going to be moaning about that, and they would be probably right. So
nice. So
Rafa, are you in Valencia?
nope, I'm in Andorra.
Andorra. And Alex, you're in Valencia?
no, in Andorra too.
Oh, okay.
And even if we were not here, we should say that we are here. But we are. Victories.
That was a question from the audience. We had a question about when USDC will launch. That will be December 20th.
Yeah.
Yep. And I know that USDC is coming out with HandCash 5.0, but there's going to be some other things that are features that will be new. Like, for example, can you describe some of what will be new, or do you want to save that for the launch?
Things that will be new with 5.0 at launch is going to be basically a redesign, and it's going to be much better to navigate the menus and all of that. It's going to look nicer, and it's going to have USDC along with BSV, and not much more than that. And at least the first version. But you will be able to use USDC on apps. You will be able to have swaps between BSV and USDC, which is pretty cool. And you can also deposit USDC from other blockchains and send to another blockchains. And that's going to be at launch. And so I think that's cool enough. No other features, I think, as far as maybe the something we call the app-created wallets might go live, which is basically that you can create a HandCash account on a website without having to download HandCash and go through all that. It's like a temporary account that you can unlock some limits afterwards, and you can claim a handle and all of that. But it allows our clients to onboard people quicker without having to ask them to download HandCash. So that's going to be pretty cool.
One of the things that you've redesigned, if I remember correctly, is the apps will have their own tray. Is that right? So you can see information related to each individual app, right?
Yeah.
Great.
So we got we're getting somewhere. This is the review.
Oh, I have the first inputs from OpenAI.
Cool.
This is so fucking fake. Okay, I'm gonna format. Yeah, so after this, I'm ready to start integrating with the front end. So very good news.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna get it ready. Can you check if I can somehow go to the home screen, because right now I cannot. Oh, okay, it already works. Forget about it.
Eric Van Velzen asked, when will I be able to use HandCash to pay electronically with my phone, like a credit card? That's already possible.
It's a complicated.
Correct?
It's a complicated question to. He would have to rephrase it a little bit, because it can mean very different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so create review, $10.
Feel free to rephrase that, Eric.
Get a restaurant review. Okay. center. Item center. Okay, cool. Justify center.
Okay. Let's start with the magic. I'm going to start.
Wait a second. I wanna push something now.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna start with the front end a bit. So
okay.
we're a bit low. I mean, full.
Okay. Pushed. So at least you have a little bit more than a skeleton. Gonna keep updating that, but it's going to be basically UI. So I'm not gonna touch any functionality. Max W.
Bam.
Yeah, so the audience is saying that they look forward to many more live coding tutorials in the future.
Really? Okay.
Still have the confidence after 1.5 hours.
Yeah, it's taken more than we expected. So sorry for that, but I think it's been fun.
It would get some kind of call to action of just 1 hour. No, but seriously, if you remove all the time we've been talking, but we wouldn't be
It's
giving
Brett's fault.
any.
It's
Brett's
definitely
fault.
my fault.
It's definitely Brett's fault.
No, but it wouldn't be as insightful, I think. So
I think we don't have enough time to worry about expanded mode. I think we can just make it look decent on mobile.
Oh, did you done with the push you were saying, Alex?
Let me do it another quick one.
Okay.
Pushed a few more things. It's getting somewhere. We have to add the inputs. Do npm I to install the this React component for the stars that I added.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's so much.
Did you get it right now, or was it in the previous commit already?
It was already there.
Okay, then I think I installed it. I'm gonna make some more push fixing something.
So there's some.
Eric asks, do you see HandCash teaming up in the future with credit card services, or perhaps like Google Pay or Apple Pay, for payment solutions?
Sure. That's the ultimate goal. We want to be able to to serve. We want to be compatible with the most used tools out there. So yeah, the thing is that you only normally get one chance to one of those meetings with big companies, and you have to have a very seriously good product. And right now, a lot of people love HandCash, but there's still a lot of work to do. But I think starting early next year is going to feel normal for even companies and users worldwide to use HandCash. If they're used to using Venmo, things like that, they should be able to use HandCash.
Well, one of the things is that it's just so much cheaper than everything else. It leverages the power of the BSV blockchain to radically reduce the costs for payments, and going lower to the ground for these these services like we're showing right now, where you pay 10 cents for a review or for some paywalled content.
I think the biggest issue with payment systems right now is not the percentage they charge, like 2 or 3% or whatever, because most companies charge from 10, 5, 10, 20, 30, even 30% of commission on the work they do. So that's not the issue, charging like 2 or 3%. I think the issue is on the base 30 cents fee that they add. So, can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Or Rafa is doing something super, super interesting.
I'm always doing something super, super interesting, but you can
okay. let me steal the thunder for a few seconds.
Okay, yeah, you can take it.
Okay. Oh no, wait. This is not the screen I want to. Oh no, it is. It is the screen I want to share. Okay. So look, we still don't have the paddings over there yet, but we can type the name of the restaurant. We have the fonts that we chose, the colors, and we have this beautiful selector, which the contrast is not great. Maybe we can change this yellow to red or something, but it already updates. So how do you look? You like that? Now I need to make this. Okay. Now I need one of these. What? Yeah, no, I need works, Rafa. So it already with set state and all of that crap. So
okay.
Now I only need another selector for the atmosphere. So back to you, working on this. Active color, I want it to be. Oh, maybe I can use this green. It's very cool green. I'm having a lot of fun, to be honest. I really like doing this.
He asked when he tops up and there's a fee for the top up, how is that fee split? I know that some of that.
A good question.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
Some of that. No, please go on.
Well, I was going to say that there is a portion of that goes towards the user who onboarded the HandCash, the person to HandCash. Like, is that correct?
Yeah, like. So let me make a small push for Rafa. Stars implemented. Sync changes. Okay. See. Oh, no conflicts. Okay. Cool. So for the whole fee that the user pays, like let's say I don't have the fees right now on my mind, but I think for $10 is like 99 cents, right? So out of those 99 cents, we pay about, I think it should be around 35 or 36 cents to Circle right away for the credit card processing. Then there's a fee that we pay for the what is the name of that, the liquidity provider, in this case Fabric, and the rest of that 15% of what's left goes to for the referral program, and the rest is what we keep. But as we are going to be shrinking, and not just shrinking, even if the fees were the same, we are going to modify the referral program so people can earn money on when other users do swaps, send USDC to other blockchains and things like that. So there are going to be more referral payouts in the coming weeks, especially with 5.0. So we're very excited about that too.
Great.
But it is what it is. We always try to be as transparent as we can. You know, we guys.
Yeah. So to take advantage of that, if you onboarded a user to HandCash, they can either click your referral link, or they can, once they onboard, if they onboard separately, they can just put your name in as the referrer. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Good question,
I think so.
RMR. Good question.
Okay, this is not the best UI I've ever done, but it's okay. There's some things I want to polish there. Stars, colors, boom. Scene changes. So I'm looking for a segmented controller, it's called. I think I can get one from Tailwind components. Should be pretty standard. Oh, I lost the. Okay, here it is. Components. Headings. Forms. Elements. Bottom groups. Okay, cool. So I will use this one for React. So how is the service? How is the atmosphere? Oh, what did I do? Okay. Span.
Ormar asked, how often have you Googled code-based stuff in this session?
Code-based. What do you mean?
I think are you talking about for the components, Ormar? Because as I understand it, Tailwind has some of these components already created, right? So you just
this is the first time that I use one is for the segmented controller. I went to npmjs.com, and I looked for stars, rating stars or something like that, and I just got the first library that I got over there.
Gotcha.
So it's the second time.
Gotcha.
And the first time I went to Dribble just to get some inspiration on a palette of color. And
what is Dribble?
Dribble is it's Dribble, but with 3 B's at dribble.com, and it's where you designers of all kinds just post their work. Part of it is because you can hire them from there, but they just share their work and you can get inspired. It's something like Pinterest, but more commercial. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Kids screaming. What was the? I have to start closing tabs. Kids screaming, loud music.
We have a celebrity with us. Just a heads up.
Oh.
Yeah. T38 TV has asked. I heard HandCash is moving to Arizona. When can he expect you?
West Side, West Coast. What was the name of that? I don't remember that. West Side Story. Yeah. No, man, we just got an office in Miami in Brickell Avenue, and we're very happy about it. So, but if we ever change our mind, Arizona is top on the list. Okay, so I'm gonna start spacing things out a little bit. Rafa, I just added the segmented controller for
T38 is going to be coming to Miami soon. He's putting you on notice. Also, did you notice that the BSV resistance point was exactly 38? I thought that was pretty.
Oh shit, that's interesting.
This is
So he's behind it, huh?
38D chess.
I'm gonna have to change my headphones. These are running out of batteries.
We also had a comment from James DeRose. He said Copilot is quite good also. And basically it's Stack Overflow / Google in the IDE. What is the IDE? I'm not sure what that is. Is that like an internal development environment or something? Oromar said, yes, you're you are copying and pasting some of this code. So if that code has vulnerabilities, how do you address that? Do you have any comments on that, Rafa?
Yeah. So if you mean about the external code I'm copying,
Hey,
um,
can you hear me?
Yes.
yeah. Okay, going back because this is interesting. So yeah, so you're getting some external code that number one, you should always, every time you copy code, you should really the fact you're copying code doesn't mean you should understand what's going on. But second is
Can hear you.
every code is open to have vulnerabilities. The thing is, if it's code that it's open source, it's been reviewed by thousands of people before, and there's many people using it. Again, it has chances of being vulnerable, but it's going to be less likely that if you write something from scratch that didn't have any review before and it hasn't been tested. So reusing what exists is giving you a signal that this is something valuable. It had a lot of attention, but again, doesn't mean it's not vulnerable. It means it's less likely that you start from scratch.
Good question again.
Like any piece of software you create, you start from scratch, you don't have any validation. If it's something that has been working for a couple of years, someone else is using, you have more confidence.
Thank you, Rafa. But usually what you do is bulletproof, right? There's no vulnerability behind.
Yeah, of course. I mean about, other people.
Yeah. I think in an alternate world, Rafa is like a black hat hacker taking over all the world's systems.
No, I'm not.
Nobody
not really.
can catch him.
Yeah, it's a very interesting system. I really love, but it's not my main specialty, if that makes sense.
Will the code that you're doing right now be in GitHub? It can be followed at this website, handcash-livestream-ep-1.versal.app. But will it end up in GitHub at a certain point, Rafa?
Yeah, it's already on GitHub actually.
Okay.
So
okay, great.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Alex.
yeah.
What is your main specialty, Rafa?
I think is making sure what I'm building, it's catching up with what the business needs in terms of scalability, keeping the code organized so you can make changes very quickly, moving fast, and a bit of everything. I feel really comfortable developing anything. So again, it's not obviously, I have languages or I have frameworks I feel more comfortable with, but just throw me whatever you want and I will have some fun. Right?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Alex.
Can or can't?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Oh,
Do
shit. I ran out of batteries. Sorry.
No problem. How about you, Alex? What's your main specialty, and how have you grown over the since HandCash has developed? Like the inception to now. How do you feel you have grown?
Oh man, that's a complicated question. What I do, UI. Wait a second. You'll get a
Let me just wait a second.
I need to go. I need to go philosophical. Why you create a product in, let's say, in 2 hours? Just not 1 hour anymore. No one is buying that.
No. And let's say if it's just 2 hours. Hey, Brad, do you have family?
Yes.
Okay, so how do they feel about the live stream?
They are loving it. They're loving it.
Okay, cool.
My son was in the room with me, and he was playing his Oculus, and he was like,
Oh, cool. I have mine over there.
yeah, he's into gorilla tag, so he's like talking trash to his fellow gorillas, and I'm like, hey,
Okay.
you gotta be quiet. I'm on a call right now.
Okay. That's cool. So I'm putting some spacing and making it look nicer while Rafa creates the.
By the way, we have
That's all the
Jaime.
logic.
Jaime's in.
Oh, Jaime.
With us. Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Jaime.
He's been key for HandCash in many areas.
Yeah.
You know what's the best kind of hire? Well, I'm not gonna say, because then if anyone is applying for a job, they're gonna be at HandCash. They're gonna be faking.
It's a cheat code. Yeah.
So what it might be a good hire, I'm not saying it's true, is when that person is already a fan of the company before joining. Ooh.
Yeah. This is the review.
What's the review? What's going on?
So I created a payment request with some labels for the review, and then I paid and got redirected back to the payment review.
Already works? Cool.
So it's like, yeah, hey, my handle, this is the review. I recently visited the Lobster and had an incredible experience. The atmosphere was very relaxing and the service was excellent.
So that's already typed by the AI?
Yeah, with this input, where I'm translating this. Restaurant name, The Lobster, atmosphere label, very relaxing, service quality, very good service, food quality, incredible, good quality.
Okay. So we already have some.
Okay, so now I need to, let's say that the after you pay or when you get the review, this is done. I'm processing the webhook, I'm calling OpenAI, and I'm connecting the redirection URL based on the transaction ID with our database. So now we need the other end, which is the user defines the input with all of this, and we translate this into something that OpenAI can understand. Okay, this is cool. How was the atmosphere? It already has a label.
Making it look nice, and it's looking pretty nicer than I expected. So
okay, create payment request, restaurant name, atmosphere label, core, service quality, and food quality. And what is this React component? How is it translating stars into? Is it the value that goes from 0 to 5, or?
Yeah, let me make sure, but because I'm not gonna lie, I just copy pasted the code on npm, which is what you should always do to get started, and then just figure out how the thing works. So yeah, count. There's a count of stars. It's an integer. Do you say integer or integer? Integer. Gomani. Okay, so
Rafa, what is your favorite language? How many languages do you know, Rafa? Oh wait, he's probably talking about coding language.
Yeah,
I thought he was asking about Spanish or English.
I don't know. So there's languages like Ruby or Go that I'm not being really into it, but I can read code. It just I don't have, I'm not flexible with that because and not being working in more than Hello World projects and to-do lists and these kind of things. But other than that, but this is not any mystery for software engineers. As time goes, you have to. The first 2 languages, I will say, this is where you're like, oh, this is my first language, and you talk about how many languages do you understand, but there's a point where it's just, it's just the job.
Haskell. Jaime says your favorite language is Haskell.
Nobody likes Haskell. COBOL.
Alex.
I started with Turbo Pascal, which probably nobody knows. Some people know, but it's not. It's crap, but it was fun when I had this aha moment of this is what I want to do in my life. So
Alex, what?
Alex, who is your all-time favorite basketball player?
Oh, Jason Kidd. You're gonna be Jason Kidd.
Oh, Jason Kidd. Sorry.
And you're gonna be very. I bet that many people are very surprised about that answer, because maybe if they know me, they might think LeBron James. It's actually.
And he's a coach now, Jason Kidd, right?
Yeah,
he's a good coach
in the Mavericks. Yeah. I don't know if he's a very good coach, but I like him. It's cool. He was a great player. I used to play point guard, and as I was a bigger point guard than most of my age, I learned a lot from him, and was very, very cool.
Yeah.
I was a very tough defender.
Who's better at basketball, you or Brandon Bryant?
Oh, definitely me.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, you can judge. You were in the game that we won them. We beat them.
Yeah.
In the first game. Yeah. We never got a second game. We were too old for that.
Actually, we did do a second game. You played with that little kid, remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know this, but you have a longer reach than Brandon Bryant, right?
I have a big wingspan. Yeah.
And Brandon is like at least 3 inches taller than you, right?
He is. Yeah. I'm 6 feet tall. He's like 6'3", I think. And
yeah, but you showed me that like you can actually reach higher than him because you have a long wingspan.
And have huge hands. I can palm the ball. That really helps playing basketball.
Yeah.
I'm curious if anyone knows what's going on in my code right now.
Rafa, I just pushed some things, and you will see that it looks really nice. Can I show my screen too?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Okay.
Yeah. Anyone in the audience knows what's going on?
So this is wait. So this is live. This is already the code. Although I think maybe Rafa is just showing it anyway. I think at this point what I'm doing is being reflected by what Rafa is doing.
This is just in my machine right now. So it's not from Vercel. It's just my latest changes.
Okay, so if I add hover, BG,
I'm gonna push before you do.
Okay, red 900.
Good.
No, 700. 800. And I'm going to add transition, duration 200 milliseconds. Oh, this is so nice. It's a very nice button. Very nice button. Okay. That's it. I just want to say it was a really nice button.
Brandon said he can still post you up though.
Well, he has a bigger frame than me, so yeah. But I can shoot a fadeaway. He knows.
That's true. You do have a very nice fadeaway. You said something along the lines of like in Europe, the fadeaway is relied upon a lot, correct?
Yeah, it's. I think it's because of the way they teach us how to shoot.
Yeah.
I think the fadeaway of European players is normally very reliable because I think we are more technical in the way of. Our coaches here insist us on shooting the right way or at least having the right motion. So that's why it's very hard to see a European player with a funky jump shot like LaMelo Ball or something. Yeah.
Ormar said Rafa Alston was very good too.
Oh, Rafa Alston, yeah. He was one of my favorite ones, but he was just an N1 player.
And Ormar also asked. He also mentioned Larry Bird had a good fadeaway.
Yeah. Well, did he? Well, yeah, he had a fadeaway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he was more like faking, but the shots were mostly straight up.
Yeah. Ormar asked, "What does this look like on mobile?"
Oh, good question. Okay, let's see because I haven't seen it yet. Let me share my screen then.
Oh, another cool thing is you use ngrok as you have a public IP. Even if you're in your local machine, you can watch it from your phone.
Okay, so this is how it would look right now on an iPhone XR. So it looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, cool. I'm liking it so far.
So speaking of phones, are there any plans to develop a phone?
Yeah, and we are gonna build it in Honduras. It's already decided.
Great.
Well, no, that there were some conversations. I think it's one of those things that, as you can see, it is the companies like Apple or Google that are stifling the right now are they're just in the middle of what all these crypto companies are doing, and people like Steve Jobs, like Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey, I think they are going to move in that arena. And Elon already has all this network of satellites. So I just think it's inevitable that for not just crypto but all this blockchain technology to actually skyrocket in usage and be something that's life changing. It has to, crypto companies have to get into being telecom companies and into electronics and all of that. Otherwise, they're always going to be at the wheel of Apple.
Yeah,
that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I consider this screen done, the main screen. I'm gonna continue working on the final review page. I think this looks pretty nice for the time that we have.
Are you sharing screen, Alex, or because I think
I don't think so. I'm not. Oh, so I think someone has to add the stream so you can. Okay.
Okay. I stopped mine, so.
Okay.
Almost there. Just
I'm really enjoying the questions and all of that. So that's pretty cool. I think we should do this more often. It would be nice to actually do some work. Yeah, right. Because we have to launch 5.0 on December 20th. But I think this is something that we wanted to do for a while, and I'm really glad that we're doing it. And it's going much better than I expected. So cool.
There's a couple questions. One related back to the phone. So why would you not want to work with Elon on his phone?
I want to. The thing is that I don't think he needs me. That's another story.
All right. Well, Elon, you heard it here. Open invite. Come and work with Alex Agut. And what could a developer expect to charge for this type of coding that you're doing right now?
Oof. Oh, do you mean charging a team like two of us to build something like this?
Yeah, within the time frame that it took you to build this.
Within this time frame, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't think it's about the time frame, because I don't really think you can go to a couple of developers and say, like, I need this for this afternoon.
No, but there's something here. So I don't think, obviously, the time you spend kind of makes sense for the price, but it's not this hour. It's how many hours did I spend to know what I know to create a product in 1 hour. This is number one. Number two is, how much value am I providing to your business? Right? Because if you're gonna make 10,000 per month, I'm not just to give some numbers, but I think you understand the idea. If you're gonna make 10,000 per month, even if it takes me 1 hour, I think it's very reasonable to charge something more than $200, just to say something.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the context.
Yeah.
Would it be politically incorrect if I impersonate some accent from another country?
Depends.
It's because Rafa and I think it's going to be racist as fuck, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay, I don't want the video to be taken down, because now that I'm about to put everything together.
It's because Rafa and I hired a guy from a certain country, and
it's clear.
And he had a particular way of saying that he got stuck with an error. And I'm running through an error right now when I need Rafa, because I don't really understand what's going on. Okay, so
you sharing the screen?
Yeah, let me just see if I just had to restart the server, because maybe that was the issue. Now I cannot access the review page. It says like server error, Firebase error, function where whatever called with invalid data, unsupported field value, undefined. So no fucking idea what that means, because it's not. I'm not saying anything from Firebase on this file. Oh, okay. I wasn't there. What's going on here? Oh, seems like that. I was running a file that was deleted, I think, or something like that.
Oh, I renamed.
Oh, you renamed it. Okay.
Yeah, the index and the review, because it wasn't right. So I think you just need to restart.
I had to run npm I just to install Firebase and all that crap.
Okay.
It's still not working.
What is it saying?
Again, same thing. Let me give you a screenshot, or it's on the review page. Is it loading for you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me share it through Slack.
Brandon Bryant said he thinks that there are some consulting opportunities out there to integrate HandCash. I'd agree.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing at the beginning of the stream, is that we really want to, we think there are a lot of capable developers right now that in this BSV community that I think they, we have a lot of opportunities of companies that just want someone to do a quick integration. And if you're familiar with HandCash, it shouldn't take more than just a couple of hours to put everything together into a website.
Yeah, where I think the business actually is on building expertise around what you can do with HandCash and how to solve certain industries using this kind of payments. Yeah. Right. This actually takes more than asking some AI to write you some code. You really need to get to understand the industry, the challenges they have, and create a product offering that it's solving something specific. I think that's extremely valuable.
Yeah, a while back there was a question: what is the next app that we think should, be developed with HandCash? One of the ones that you mentioned, Alex, is, it's surprising that there's still not a Texas Hold'em application, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and every I know that many of the people here, especially on BSV or using HandCash, there are many fans of Texas Hold'em poker, and if we could play online and instead of just using chips, we play with BSV or USDC or whatever. I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
especially with USDC because you can start competing with people from Solana and all of that, and I think that would make it more interesting.
I think it would be fun to do some bounties. So maybe like I would throw in $10 to someone who would develop a Texas Hold'em application.
Maybe not $10, but yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of what's going on?
Oh,
he forgot because I'm a little bit stuck with this because for whatever
so you are under review. So for that page, you need some transaction ID at least. Okay, let me.
Okay. I get it now. Okay, yeah.
Use this one, for example.
But first, I was using the brackets. Okay, so okay.
I mean the control of errors, it just doesn't exist at this point. So
okay, and it will not exist probably. Okay. Oh, so something went wrong. Cool.
Okay, let me. I don't know if I
add style sheets using next head, whatever. Use document instead.
Alex, I have a question for you once you have a moment to.
Yeah, I have a moment. Rafa broke something, so I'm waiting for him to fix it.
Well, you had mentioned that you're getting really great vibes from Kristen Ager Hansen. Can you comment on some of what you're seeing and what you're reading into that?
This is not, I don't want to say it in a way that's disrespectful to other CEOs or leadership from BSV that we've had or whatever, but the dude is actually, Christian is actually using the apps, but in a very profound way. I mean, like he's replying with reactions to the payments on HandCash, and he's using the app gallery, and he's using tweets. He has a profile picture. He's taking it seriously, and he wants to do pew campaigns and all of that, and he's taking all of this very seriously. And I think his positivity and energy, and he has like this Grant Cardone mindset of 10x, and I really like him. I think he, and for the conversation that we had with Rafa and myself with him like two weeks ago, and we had a pretty interesting conversation with him, and I like where his style, the way he's doing things. I think overall he's going to be a very positive force with BSV, and I think that's something that we really needed, especially because he's taking this leadership role. He's grabbing the bull by the horns, and it's something that we need, especially after Jimmy Wynn started doing his. He's still part of BSV, but he's not like at the forefront of the PA and all of that. So I think we needed someone like him, and it was like it's a blessing. Time will tell if he will achieve his goals, but I think his determination and energy are something that I really value, and it's different from other people that we've had on BSV. I'm not saying other people were worse or whatever, but I think we needed what he's bringing to the table right now and at the right moment.
Yeah.
Especially when you see that all crypto is going to hell. Yeah. And we've been. I think you can say a lot of things about BSV, about branding or this or whatever, or this fake Doshi narrative or whatever, but at least we've been right about the crypto economy for the most part, and we're all focused on building stuff that people want to use and that solves issues for real businesses. So I don't know, I think it's the right time to have someone like Kristen take over in a leadership role right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, think that's it. That thing Alex said about just just getting to try every product in the ecosystem and getting to really interact with the companies and understand everything to the detail. I think that deserves the maximum respect, at least for me.
I agree.
This is a gesture of I really care about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like getting down to the ground and to doesn't really care about getting their hands dirty. And I don't know. I think he could just be retired, but he's still trying to change an industry again when he could just be doing nothing.
Yeah.
So that really deserves my respect and my confidence so far.
Well, Rafa appeared. Okay.
It's perfect.
Let's go on. Okay, so I'm a little bit stuck. I'm sorry, but I cannot go on until.
Okay, so I'll send you some payment link, and once you pay that, you will be redirected to the.
Oh, so it's code. So to keep working, I have to pay. This is cool. This is the first time that I do it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even deserve this audience.
Cool. So I need to pay to actually keep working. That's cool.
Right incentive.
I don't know if the incentives are aligned, but anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is.
You know, if you don't believe in this project, then don't pay.
I believe in this project to the fullest.
This could be the next unicorn.
Yes.
Yeah, the AI reviews. So I pay with HandCash Pay.
Bip boop.
There, and that unlocks the work, so I can keep working.
That's awesome.
Does it? No, it didn't. Oh, because I have to copy the new transaction ID, right?
Yeah, or replace my local host.
No, it's fine.
By local host, yours or whatever.
Okay, it's working. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna style this page just like the other one. This is fun. I don't know if the audience is enjoying it, but I'm really having a lot of fun.
I'm definitely enjoying it.
Okay, last step.
No, I should not copy all of these because the page is different.
Yeah, one of the things I'll just comment quickly about Kristen that I really like is he mentioned that in order to make something happen, you need to speak it into existence. So if you just sit around, me and my children, we have this, we have a few things that we do a little bit differently than some people. But when they blow out their birthday candles, and they make a wish, we always ask them, well, what did they wish for? And a lot of people say, oh, don't tell anyone or else it won't come true. And we think the opposite, right? If you don't tell anyone what you're wishing for, then it'll never come true. You need to speak what you want to have happen in order to make that a reality. And
agreed.
Yeah. And it's so weird that we train ourselves not to talk about what we wish for, right? Like how does that make any sense? It's like this idea that if we just sit in our little cubicle or little box, like the world will just magically give us what we want. And it's just not the way the world works.
Don't we have the best host?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing a great job. I'm enjoying.
Yeah, the best local host. But he talked about that, and he said, you need to speak it into being. So he wants to grow DSV into a $1 trillion ecosystem.
Yeah.
And now the mark is set. He's set the peg, and once it's set, it's set. You can forget it and just go about your day trying to all the time think, does this contribute towards that goal? And if it doesn't, can I be using my time more effectively? I think it's really powerful.
Why is this not? Share this review. it's great that the AI is the first thing that that worked, and it's so cool because when you see the potential of all these AI APIs from OpenAI, it was just a couple of lines of code and boom, that's it. And it's taking longer to actually build the rest of the app than the neural process to create a review from some inputs. It's fantastic if you think about it.
Again, AI is winning.
Oh, always.
Humans are the bottleneck.
Rafa wants to get rid of all of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna replace all of you with GPT-5 or whatever it comes.
Geppetto.
Rafa has a computer that's called the supervisor, right? The HandCash supervisor.
The HandCash supervisor.
Supervisor.
Don Free at thefast.company asked, would I be able to connect with data to post this review on Brightview if I pay an additional cost?
That would be cool. I don't know if we have enough time to do that, but I think that's one of those things that I think I really love it when you see apps interconnecting with each other, especially on BSV.
How has HandCash made it easier for apps to connect with each other?
Oh, that's Rafa. That's Rafa's.
Okay, so what was the question again?
Sure. How has HandCash made it easier recently for apps to communicate with each other? Like, for example, Doro Dogs and things like that.
Okay, so there's a context where, from the user perspective, you're going to connect your HandCash wallet with different services, right? So, for example, if I'm using or just DuroDocs is not just DuroDocs, it's using some other service that is called Asset Layer. So you actually need to give permission to two different services, right? From the user perspective, it's a bit annoying because you go to DuroDocs, you click on connect to HandCash, you get redirected to HandCash, and then instead of getting back to DuroDocs, you like ready to play, you need to give permission again to another service. So what we recently already released is something that is called app extensions. So we thought it would make sense that if you need to connect your wallet to 2 or 3 or whatever is the amount services at the same time, that you can give them permission to all of them at the same time, right? So you just you say you're giving permission to 5 different apps, and the moment you grant the permission, everything is sorted out from the authorization perspective, and you're ready to play. So just removing friction, but it's called app extension. You can find it in the docs, and if you plan on using asset layer, I'm sure you already are aware of that. But for example, if you want to use the Haste Arcade API, this is another way of the user not having to give permission to Haste and also give permission to your game. You can use app extensions. You can set Haste as an extension of your app. So when the user gives permission to your app, it's also giving permission to Haste, and you can ensure the experience is smooth.
And they can do that from the dashboard. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Source. The irony is that I know how to add a font from Google Font. No, I'll figure it out. Google Fonts. By the way, great resource if you need fonts for your project, and many of them are really, really great, and all of them are free, is Google Fonts. Fonts.google.com. If you need to get any fonts for anything, just go there because there are fonts for anything. And especially if you're starting, you don't want to pay out of the gate $200 to just get something like Circular Sans or things like that. You just get started with Google Fonts and make the money to pay for the premium fonts. If you ever need it, we've never used any premium font. Google Fonts has a great selection. Okay, so console. I need a nice mono space. Roboto mono. Okay. Oh, this one is better. IBM Plex mono.
Something that maybe the audience doesn't know about you, Alex, is that you read a ton, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not as much as I would like to, but I read a lot of books.
Yeah. Do you have any type of genre that you enjoy the most? Is it...
I don't read fiction. I don't know if that's a general. But I it's very rare that I read something. The only thing that I read fiction, well, I don't know if you can classify it as fiction anymore, like Atlas Shrugged. I read Atlas Shrugged like once a year.
Yeah.
And fiction, I like Sherlock Holmes books. It's been a while that I haven't read one of them, but as a kid, I really love them. But normally, I just read about business, design, engineering, physics. I'm reading a very interesting book on electrogravitics. It's pretty advanced physics, but it's very nice.
Electrogravity.
Electrogravitics.
Oh.
It's basically how you. There are a lot of theories and experiments that you can do on how to create gravity wells and all of that, just to increase the performance of aircrafts and things like that. Well, it goes beyond that, but I don't want to start sounding like I'm crazy. I'm not the one writing those things, right? So
you just read them, so you're safe. We had a question. Excuse me. We had a question about from guest 4, who says, so HandCash OpenAI only generates code how to achieve payments from HandCash users into HandCash wallet. Dev, is that?
Right. So it's okay. So this is based on HandCash Connect, which is one of the SDKs that we have for connecting user wallets to applications so they can trigger payment. So what the AI is doing, that one in particular, is that given some input of the kind of payment you want to create, it gives you the code to trigger that payment in particular. Right? So it's not creating an app for you, or it's not doing anything that doesn't have to do with HandCash Connect. Right? So the app, the context, if it's going to be some native Android app or if it's going to be a website, this is up to you. It's just giving you the code snippet to trigger the payment.
Oh, fantastic. I already have this. What is the font size of this on 20? Okay, so
I got a proper review, end-to-end process from McDonald's.
Cool. Oh, McDonald's.
He says the service was terrible and whatever, but
That's cool.
It was the AI. It wasn't me. So I'm sorry, McDonald's, but
you suck. McDonald's, you suck.
GPT-3 is saying you suck.
I have a two-part question. So what is one book that everyone should read? Alex and Rafa, maybe give us your thoughts on that.
I'm going to go with The Power of Now.
The Power of Now. Is that Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah.
Nice.
It really changed my perspective in many things that I can apply to many different, to understand many things in life that I wasn't really getting. It's like everything made sense. It's not the secret of life or anything, but it makes things more understandable and the very important things to me. So and I only read technical books about companies and processes and marketing and all of that shit. But that one in particular really changed something on me.
That's awesome. And Alex, how about you? One
I would
book.
say a book that changed my life was called Your Erroneous Stones by Dr. Wayne Dyer, something like that. Wayne Dyer, he passed away like a few years ago, and it's just a book on psychology, but it really helped me understand why some people react in certain ways when they are not controlling their emotions, and it also teaches you how to be the owner of your emotions. Rafa knows it, that I was a little bit more combative years ago, but when I was 17, 18 or whatever, I was very, very harsh on people, and when I was a kid, I was kind of a bully too. So let's say that I had to learn a little bit on how to be better. I don't know how to say it.
How to escape the trap of negative thinking.
That's one way of saying it, yeah.
Then follow-up question: have either of you heard of a book called Biocentrism: How Life and Consciousness Are the Keys to Understanding the True Nature of the Universe?
Nope.
By Robert Lanza.
Nope, but it sounds interesting.
That's a long title for a book. Like, it's almost like a book itself, you know?
It's some other person that it's not that I agree with everything, but certainly I can pick some of the thoughts and apply them to how I live my life. And it's from Jordan Peterson.
I think he's just nuts.
I love his lobster thing. Have you guys heard his thing about the lobsters?
Yeah,
it's so
cool. I cannot respect. I cannot. I'm sorry, but I cannot get advice from a man that's a fucking train wreck. He
All right,
has.
you heard it here.
I don't have anything against him. It's just that this last years he's been a fucking train wreck with his life, and I don't know. I cannot take him seriously anymore.
I have to say though,
I'm sorry, Jordan Peterson, and I'm sorry, but that's what I think.
He has my vote though for the best meme of the year. That meme where, you know, he says like, when I get asked why my commit brought down prod. That depends on what you mean by happen. Did that happen?
That was very fun. That
was so good.
Okay, so if anyone wants to just go to HandCash live stream episode 1, Vercel.app, and try the thing out.
Wait. The UI is almost there. Give me a few minutes. Play fair display, add more styles. You have to give the people very nice things, not crappy things.
Something I will change is that from the, let's say, the labels from the atmosphere, that you could pick many, because it's like they're not contradictory. So you can have kids screaming and loud music.
Yeah, I've been places where just like that.
Yeah. I would say kids screaming and very relaxing. Where maybe for some people it's
relaxing to hear kids screaming. Maybe if you anyway, I was going to make a comment on Epstein's Island, but I'm not going to do it.
How is your server security
right now?
Yeah.
Right now.
Almost
power of it right now.
The power of right now.
Where there's one cool thing, and is that you cannot trigger OpenAI if you don't pay, which is the basic thing from the rest. And even in the GitHub repository, there's some like secrets and stuff to access everything. But you want to make it open source and go fast and whatever. Yeah, but there's one thing here. This architecture in particular, it's something I would use and would feel very confident about that.
Great. Good question. And Alex, you said to wait a few minutes because you wanted to make an update. How's that going?
It's going very well. Having a little bit of a... Okay, I'm merging some code and there was a conflict, but it's already solved. So
I have a question for you both. This one doesn't come from the audience, and it's going to be a dumb question. So I'm revealing my ignorance. But I've heard this term, a progressive web app. So what is a progressive web app, and did you design one on the show today? Is that what this is?
It could be a progressive web app. We haven't added that particular functionality, but it basically means that you are adding some extra code. So your mobile phone, understand that that's like a web app that you can install on your phone. So when you enter on your phone, it will suggest you like, hey, do you want to add this app to your home screen? And it will act very similar to a native app that you just install from the App Store or the Play Store. They're getting more and more popular, and in fact, it was the format that Steve Jobs wanted for the first iPhone. But the thing is that then they convinced him. I don't know. Well, he was never convinced, but they convinced him on creating the App Store, and then having all this review process that we love so much in HandCash.
Gotcha. And do you look up to Steve Jobs? Is he someone that
I think? Well,
or is he more on the Jordan Peterson side?
No. Definitely, he was not. Like everyone, you have to take the best out of it, but there are some people that, for whatever reason, when they like someone, they just try to replicate. Especially with Steve Jobs, I've seen so many people who pretended to be copycats of Steve Jobs, and I think Steve Jobs was unique, as many other characters in like Henry Ford, another man that I also admire. They're so unique, and they were so unique to their time. Steve Jobs was like maybe right now we have a lot of people that think like Steve Jobs, but he was the one that was like the pioneer on actually consumer electronics meets arts and design and minimalism and all of that. But it's one of those things that you cannot just replicate, because he was part of a bigger movement in a very particular era. And I think he was a fucking genius in many things. He had a very instinctive understanding on UI, UX, marketing, pricing, human psychology, and also he understood very well product lines. So you could see that the first things that he did when he came back to Apple after he was fired and started Next, first thing he did was that he discarded all the product line that Apple had, and they started all over with only the iMac, the iPod, and not much more. I mean, that was what they started all over the product line and streamlined. They focused their resources to the best technology out there, and I think also they chose the best standards. Also, he was looking to the future, not just like, okay, let's ship this with Flash and with 3.5. What was the name of that? I don't even remember the name of those things. Those floppy disks, right?
Yeah.
So he said, like, just fuck it, we are not gonna use that, and it takes guts to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, not that I think there's a parallel between that and HandCash's decision to move to the cloud signing with the threshold signatures, because it's very similar, where you just say, you know what, this is a cool concept in theory, but it has a lot of practical limitations that are restricting the direction that we want to take the company, and we're just going to go our own way.
Yeah, very well put. Yeah, very well said, because it's something that many people don't understand from the outside. But the reality is that we wouldn't be able to do many of the things that we do if we were constrained about, signing on device.
Yeah.
It's something that I think you only see from if you are on our perspective.
Yeah.
It's very.
I did have a really great question here from the audience. So, offline mode for a progressive web app, would that work with HandCash, where I could trigger a payment that gets done after I connect back to the internet?
It could, but it's very rare that you need that, and also the infrastructure is not there to support it. So yeah, technically it could be done, but well, I don't know if it could be done because we sign on the cloud, so we could do something like signing on device too, but it would be like
it's
complicated.
What could work is if you could, like, technically make sense, and it kind of makes sense as a product too, is that you can pay with HandCash being offline, but you pay into some other kind of point of sale system that uses HandCash, right? So the service is giving you a bridge to interact with the exterior, so you're not completely isolated. At the same time, you're able to send a payment without compromising your security, because it's based on signing, and signing is something public. There's no secret there.
So Rafa, I finished this screen also. I think we can polish it even further, but what for? I think, I there's one more thing. I have to add this review written by Restabot. But for the most part, this screen is done, and this one should be done too. Well, the segmented control, it doesn't keep the selection. Doesn't keep the selection. This works.
Okay.
It's not keeping the selection.
Into the states.
I think it's a pretty decent app for the time we have. Okay, let me review the last line. Oh, maybe people want to see how I code.
Sure.
That's something that maybe Rafa does not enjoy, but fuck it. He's not watching. Okay. So review. So I want to add it here, like share this review has to be like over here. And this should be like be just about either.
Rafa, what is your favorite video game?
I don't really play video games anymore, but back in the time, I was really pro Call of Duty, pro like football game, and then FIFA, where I was like 3 years ago, still got 1 year quite deep into FIFA, but it's not. The thing is, if I want to do something, I have to be. I'm really competitive, so it's not enough for me to play 30 minutes a week and relax. I just want to get into knowing everything, and that's not very sustainable with having a company and all the things that we want to do. So Yeah,
I do
So
play
HandCash-
I do play video games because there are some times that I just need to escape reality, and sometimes I just Twitter, and I need to chill for a few minutes. No. But I play very rarely. But when I play, it's like I try to say like, okay, I'm gonna spend 2 or 3 nights straight playing this game, and I'm done with it. That's it. Moving on. But I really like playing video games, but it's, as Rafa said, is we cannot afford to play as much as we. It's not that it's not that as much as we would like to. It's just like when I don't know. I don't have the drive to play as when I was a kid. I don't know. There are many things that I rather do, like doing a Udemy course or whatever, even if it sounds boring.
I just don't. I can't try to play 15 minutes because I know I'm gonna get hooked and I'm gonna be using so much energy on that. So I need to stay away. I was really hardcore that time, and now I'm hardcore with creating products. So thanks God. I don't play video games, but I'm quite a big fan of chess. I'm more watching than playing, again, for the same thing. But I watch 1 or 2 games.
Can you hear me?
Every day?
We
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. Because I had issues with. It seems like I unplugged this.
So if someone wants to play some chess and challenge me, see you on
Pal chess.
Chess. Yeah.
Pal chess.
Okay, so I consider my side done. So if you have
Mine
any,
Mine too.
okay, then let's launch it. So it was not 1 hour. It was almost some hours.
It was 2.5.
But we did it.
But we did, yeah.
And we had fun.
Yeah. So
And many more things. Right.
do we have any other questions before? So are you wrapping up?
I do have one question.
Are you wrapping up? Are you going to at least show the app in action, Rafa?
Yeah, let's show it.
If you consider it done.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wait, let's ask the audience. What should the name of the
one last
restaurant
push.
be?
One last push. One last push. Some changes. Boom.
Yeah, I did have a question, Alex. You mentioned, which I thought was pretty interesting. One of the big reasons why USDC is going to be so important to unlocking the potential of the streaming money economy and HandCash ecosystem is because you found that people, when they have an asset like Bitcoin, BSV, they're less likely to spend it because they want it to go up. Can you discuss a little bit about what your thinking was with regards to that?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that if you have if you invest in for speculative reasons, you don't want to use it for. It's like imagine that you have Tesla shares is because you believe that the Tesla shares are going to be worth more in the future, because otherwise there's no reason to hold them, right? So would you actually use some of your Tesla shares on paying for coffee or mundane things like that? I don't think it makes any sense. And if the USD value is what people have in mind, like if it goes up or down or whatever, so that's what they don't want. They don't want to, if they believe that BSV is going to be like 1,000 or 10,000 or 50,000 or whatever, it's much harder for them to have an incentive on spending this money. But if we use this fantastic technology and we just use USD, which is not, it's Argentina and places like that, I don't really think people are going to be using USDC for speculative reasons. So I think it is what we need for it is the money that you want to have as as the means of exchange. And also the cool thing about USDC is that it's like the common language that many blockchains support. So just being able to speak the same language with other blockchains, it automatically makes expands the HandCash ecosystem, to make it compatible with all the other ecosystems out there. And I think that's a very cool business proposition. My views on crypto has always been like with every other sector. This is something that I discussed in another podcast recently. If you read Henry Ford's autobiography, he describes the thing that we are crypto, like companies only sharing their tokens or their shares, and they didn't even have an intention to build any actual cars. So there were a lot of car companies that were just selling hype and selling stock and all of that, and it was just fake. So we had that with the internet, with the .com bust. We had that with cars like 100 years ago. That's going to keep happening, right? But there's always a layer of utility that will remain. And I think, maybe 99% of what's in crypto is all scams or useless or whatever. But I think there are many companies like ours that we are trying to build something that lasts, and that we see what you can do with this technology beyond just making a quick buck I don't think people see any beyond quick buck right now on this industry for the most part. But I think companies like ours and Twitch, we are all focused on creating something cool that people love to use, and also that enables companies and users to have other new user experiences and better user experiences. Like Twitch, they are using money as moderation, and that's cool. That's a great concept. Or the guys from BoostPow, I really appreciate what they're doing. Daniel Kraswit and Steven and all these guys. I think it's a very innovative concept, and one of those things that you can say that maybe it's ahead of its time, but someone has to build it, and at some point it might catch up. I really like the concept and what it means. I just think that maybe has to go on through some iterations. But I think USDC is going to be the key for us in terms of all this streaming money thing.
Yeah, it's interesting that you brought up BoostPal. I agree. I love that concept. It makes total sense. It also I didn't have the context or framework for understanding that at first before Daniel.
It's hard to understand. You have to wrap your mind around it. It's kind of hard, but
yeah. But once he at first I thought it was a bad idea, but it took him explaining it, and once I saw it, then I was like, okay, yeah, this makes.
I think it's one of those things that you can argue that can be solved by other things that already exist.
Yeah.
But I like this. I like that it works in another level, like another meta level, like especially when you have data on the blockchain. I think it's very interesting that you can just pull, let's say, boost power or interest points or whatever they want to call it in the future from particular videos on the internet, and you always have like one common source of interest / reviews or whatever. And I think that you can do a lot of things with that if that's something that's not controlled by a company but by the whole internet. I think that's a very powerful concept, but again, it's going to take a lot of time to iterate.
Yeah.
So,
well said.
Rafa, we are over 3 hours. We said 1, and we are a little bit above 3 hours. Does it work?
No. What's people thinking now? Get some feedback. This was some kind of crazy new format, and
he's fixing stuff. So let's keep chatting.
Sure.
Until it's ready.
Sure. So, how about could you share your thoughts for me on 21E8? Do you have any thoughts on on what they're doing.
I don't have any particular thoughts on that project in particular because I don't have enough information. I haven't dug into it. At first, it's one of those things that I don't know. It took me so much effort to try to understand what that was for. I don't know if BoostPow is similar to that, or I don't have an opinion. To be honest.
Yeah. I really like the concept of 21E8 as a way of adding work, very similar to BoostPow. Daniel will not be too happy with me for for saying that, but it's solving puzzles related to data and using the evaluation of that to determine what information is relevant and worth paying attention to. I think it's
I think it's this. Maybe it works very differently from BoostPow. I don't know it, but I for my understanding, that's exactly what BoostPow tries to solve.
Yeah. Except the difference is, with Daniel's system, it uses the ASIC machines to determine the difficulty, and with 21E8, as I understand it, not an expert or anything, but you can use GPUs, so you can compute the puzzles with your laptop, and that's something I really like about it because, for example, if we were doing this restaurant review, right, and I really cared enough about my experience, I might add some compute cycles to my review to show, hey, look, this is, I care about this. And what makes that interesting is that, what I'm always worried about with restaurant reviews is like, well, if I owned the restaurant, I would just, hire a bunch of bots to come in and say, oh, the food was wonderful, all of these things. And here I'm making a lot of purchase decisions based on, oh, this product has 4.5 stars on Amazon, so I can feel pretty confident that it's a great product. But in the end, if there's nothing expensed to create those signals, then how can I know that they're trustworthy? Whereas at least if I'm adding compute cycles to solve the puzzles to the data that I'm leaving, then at least I know, okay, if they are trying to game this system, they're at least wasting a bunch of energy to do so, which I think is valuable. It makes the data more reliable to me.
Yeah.
I fucked up one thing with the styling, but anyway, I think it's.
Or I changed something, instead of this being all together. So it just
anyway.
We can just go here and keep adding more labels. And I think ideally is the thing we said of, instead of just being able to pick one, that you can add as many as you want. And I think it adds more entropy to the kind of review the AI can generate. Because if there's only 5 different kinds of review, it's going to be very the same. But some restaurant name.
So we have a couple suggestions from the audience. One was
okay.
Chow Talks, Chow Gab, or one was Re-Star-Ant.
What?
Re-Star-Ant. He wants the name there to be stars and the name of the restaurant.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that would be confusing to the AI. Maybe you can try it later. Maybe you can try it yourself and just pay 10 cents to find out. Okay, restaurant name. What was the first one that you said?
Chow Gab. Chow Talks. One of those.
Chow Talk. Can you spell it? We are no English.
CHOW. Space
Okay,
CHOW space GAB or space
Chow Gab.
Chow Gab.
Okay. What was the atmosphere?
I would eat there. What was the atmosphere, audience? Did we like Chow Gab or did we not like it? I think there was kids screaming. That's what I would guess.
Kids screaming. Yeah.
I remember.
Always great screaming.
Yeah.
The service
always great screaming.
Was meh.
Yeah, it was meh. Yeah.
But the food
May
was
3 stars.
really nice,
Food
which
was
is what you actually go
incredible.
for.
Oh man, that food was so good. If it wasn't for that kid that was just yelling in my ear the whole time.
Fitting into my food, it was just
Okay. Oh, let's do something. Let's do something. As you're sharing your screen, let's let someone on the audience to pay for it. Just grab your HandCash, scan the QR code,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and pay for the review. You will not get refunded.
and we'll find your handle.
Yeah, you will not get refunded. So, but
Yeah.
someone please pay for the invoice.
Yeah, there's a lag too on the YouTube, so it might take a couple extra seconds, but
Let's see.
open up your HandCash.
Please, we'll say something nice about whoever pays, but you will not get any refunds. Okay, someone paid. Okay, so you will be redirected to HandCash live stream, whatever. So, okay, so we have it.
Cool.
Kekistani,
Cool.
Kekistani 9.
Kekistani 9. Thank you for your review.
Real World Podcast, shout out. So that's definitely worth the 10 cents.
Okay, cool. Brett, can you read it for the blind viewers?
Absolutely. So I recently visited ChowGab, and I was pleasantly surprised. The service was reasonable, and the food quality was amazing. The only downside was there were a lot of kids screaming. But overall, it was a great experience, and I would recommend it.
Awesome. The 5 stars were hard to get. Anyway, I think I'm very satisfied about how. Anyway, should we leave it here?
Let's do some really bad one to see.
Yeah, let's confuse the AI.
Okay.
Rafa speed.
Be careful with the pizza references.
Okay, someone wanna pay for that one?
We have a lot of conspiracy nuts on BSV.
So this concept of someone just scanning and paying, this can be used for things like you said. You just post a QR code on Twitter, and then let's say that you're selling a rare item. The first person that scans it,
Alberto.
They buy it, right?
Oh, Alberto, hola.
All right, I'll read this one. I recently visited Rafa's Pizza, and I was very disappointed in my experience. The music was so loud that it was difficult to have a conversation, and the service was terrible. On top of that, the food quality was not good. I would not recommend this place to anyone. Thank you, Alberto.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think this is what you could consider an MVP, minimum viable product. It's viable, it's minimal, and it works, and it's a product. So, great job, Rafa, and an amazing job, Brett, as a host. If you guys want us to do this again, wait until we launch USDC, then we talk. But I had a lot of fun, and I think it's something that would be pretty nice to repeat in the future if you like it.
Agreed. All right.
It was very fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did here.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.